Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. I'm, of course, your host, Mega Mike the Movie Man. We have a super fun stream planned for you all today. We are covering the hottest movie news stories, and I'm very excited to talk about each of these individual stories. They're all very intriguing and definitely have some ramifications for the rest of Hollywood for the years to come. So, very important movie news today. But before we get into the movie news stories, let me remind you all, if you love movies just like me, go ahead and mega smash that like and subscribe. That way you can help support this community, grow this community. We're making the push to 1,500 subs. We're trying to reach that by my 2-year anniversary, which is Halloween Day. So anyone that can help me with that, I really appreciate it. And then, of course, if you want more kind of control of the content on this channel, definitely check out the memberships. There's a lot of different tiers. You get shout outs, you get perks, you get exclusive videos. So it's really worth it out there. And once again, it just helps support this channel, helps grow this community, and I greatly appreciate it as well. But let's get into this for today. There's so many great news stories. So the ones we're going to cover today is, of course, we got to talk about the strike updates. Probably the biggest news and information to come out. Finally got updates on the WGA strike ending. And then we got to talk about, hey, what's happening with SAG-AFTRA going into this week of negotiation. So very important news. That's going to be an important one to talk about. And then, of course, Halloween franchise being talked about being sold. That is really, really interesting. I did not expect this to happen so soon after. We just got Halloween Ends not too long ago, and they're already shopping around the Halloween franchise. Oh my goodness, we got to talk about what that may look like and how that's going to impact us Halloween fans in the future. And then, of course, you know, I'm a big superhero fan. I love that genre. Hey, I get to talk my favorite genres today, horror and superhero. I mean, we could not have a better day than this. But we're going to talk Gunn's DC universe. We got a more clearer view of what the timeline actually looks like, what DC characters might return, and all that fun stuff. And yes, it's a hot mess, but we're going to try to decipher all of this today. So this is going to be great. Of course, as we go through the topics here today, try to stay on topic in the comments as much as possible. That way we fuel the conversation on these specific topics. But if you just have any burning movie question or any question about me or just any fun question out there, you know I'm an open book. You know I love answering those. We, of course, got the Ask Anything section at the end. So that is the perfect time to do that. Ask whatever your heart desires when we get to there. But once again, I appreciate all the comments we get in today for the show. All the interaction just really helps the channel. So thank you all so much. But let's first check into the audience. Let's see how everybody is doing out there. We already got some great comments in here. I love to see this. So let's look at this today. We got Adrian always first place. He still has the crown, of course, of always being here. We got hello there, Mike. How are you doing today? I'm doing great, Adrian. I hope you are doing great. This has been a great weekend for movie watching. And yeah, I mean, you just can't get a better weekend than this. So yeah, very, very excited to be here. We got Alexander here today. Yes, Alex in the house. Good morning, everyone. Alex is a member, so I always got to shout out Alex. He is absolutely amazing. And yeah, definitely, hey, everybody else, check out those memberships, see what you might be missing out there. We got What's Johnny Watching? What's up, cool kids? Hey, Johnny, how are you doing today? I know you were watching me and everybody else on 4K Kings live stream yesterday, right? The Jeopardy live stream where I totally got destroyed. And I think I gained the lowest score possible out of any of the Jeopardy shows, which, hey, you know, I'm not just, you know, the best at Jeopardy, and that's okay. We still had a great time. The questions were fun. There's definitely some funny moments on there, but happy to see you joining in here today, Johnny. What have you been up to, Johnny? That's what I want to know. How are you guys doing? Got Craig in here, another longtime supporter of the channel, always watching the video content out there, leaving comments. Greatly appreciate you, Craig. Hi, Mike. Hi, Craig. We got Dimension Scott with a really cool icon image, of course. How's it going, Mike? Doing good. Got Matheson in here. It's been a little while since I seen Matheson, so thank you for joining in. Good morning to you as well. Emlo in here saying howdy, y'all. Howdy as well. How are you doing? We got Hisham saying, hello, Mike. What's your breakfast today? Okay, so kind of interesting breakfast. I had some leftovers. So normally, if I didn't have my leftovers, I would have like a protein waffle with fruit, whipped cream, no sugar-free syrup, making it as healthy as possible. But I had leftovers, so just, you know, some Chinese food, right? Had some brown rice, some kung pao chicken in there, some teriyaki chicken. So just some leftovers this morning, which was kind of weird because I was, having it with my coffee, which I don't know is the best combination. We'll see how that plays out on the stomach later on. But yeah, that was interesting. Got Hisham here saying, "Is it true SAG strike? Oh, not SAG strike. We're gonna talk about the WGA strike being over, but those are two different strikes that were going on. But we'll get you updated on that." We got Lance Jackson, the movie fan, in here. What's up, Mike? A nice shirt. I'm just watching The Curse of the Black Pearl, and later going to watch Endgame, and then later probably Wreck It Ralph. Now that is a lineup right there. That's a nice triple feature right there. A little good variety there, but they're all Disney movies, which is interesting. So you still got a theme going, Lance. That is awesome. Oh, thank you for pointing out the shirt as well. I decided, hey, this week I feel like changing it up. Maybe I should just wear a variety of my nerdy kind of shirts. And if you guys like that, if you guys like me wearing different kind of t-shirts, or do you guys just want me to wear my Mega Mike shirt? Let me know. That's important stuff I need to know for the channel. Or does it not really make a difference? Let me know that too. Maybe I overthink that. All right, we got my mom in here joining in. Hello, mom. How you doing out there? And then we got What's Johnny watching? I'm doing awesome. How to start my spooky Sunday with my man Mike. Well, thank you, Johnny, for being here. I know it is now October 1st. Happy October 1st. Happy spooky season. Happy fall season. However you want to say it. We're almost towards Halloween. And once again, not only special because it's Halloween and spooky season, and I've always loved that holiday. It's always just been a favorite of mine. I mean, besides like the Oscars, it's probably my go to day. And then me and my wife's birthday. Next up is Halloween. So I absolutely love Halloween. But it's also now my YouTube anniversary, just making the day so much more special. So if we can hit 1,500 subs by that day, maybe we'll do an awesome live stream that night, maybe some giveaways in there. I really want to go all out for it. So if we get there, that will be awesome. Emlo saying t-shirts are cool. So, oh yeah, so variety in t-shirts. I don't always have to wear Mega Mike logo stuff. That is good to know. I might start changing that up in my videos. So if you see that in my videos now, like, hey, he's wearing different shirts, then awesome. Always shout that out. If you like the different shirts, then I know it's working. All right, let's get into these. Let's get into the news stories. What everybody is here for. We got to talk these strike updates, both on WGA and then SAG-AFTRA. And hey, who knows? Maybe there's potential strikes happening in the future. Let's bring up the overlay for you all to really dive into these articles. And these are just little pieces from each of the articles. Now, if you want the full-on articles where I gathered this information from, of course, those are linked in the description below. So I'm not making this stuff up. I'm just researching it and just finding what I can out there. All right, let's get into this. So we got the Writers Guild of America and the major Hollywood studios have reached a tentative deal that would end a strike that has lasted 146 days, tossed thousands of people out of work, and exposed deep anxiety over changes brought by technology. The proposed 3-year contract, which would still have to be ratified by the union's 11,500 members, would boost pay rates and residual payments for streaming shows and impose new rules surrounding the use of artificial intelligence. We can say with great pride that this deal is exceptional with meaningful gains and protections for writers in every sector of the membership, the WDA negotiation committee said in a Sunday night message to its members. And then this one's from another article here. But what about the actors who have also been on strike this summer? Members of the Screen Actor Guild, American Federation of Television and Radio Artists, SAG-AFTRA, stopped working July 14th, marking the first time the union has gone on strike since 1980. But on Thursday, the union announced it will return to the bargaining table with the AMPTP next week. So definitely a lot of information there in those articles. And I do want to unpack it and kind of go, section by section here. But I want you guys to jump into this conversation. That's what makes it so fun. So definitely leave some comments in there. What do you think of the WGA strike ending? What about the SAG after strike still going on? Just anything like that. If you've seen videos breaking down the deals, now I'm not going to break down the complete deal they got to because that is a lot of information, a lot of like jargon in there as well, a lot of complicated stuff. But there's great videos out there that do that. I'm just going to kind of talk about an overview on just a couple points and really leave this as a platform for you guys to discuss and share your thoughts, right? But yeah, so first thing we got the WGA strike. They've reached a tentative deal. Now, I'm trying to think if they've already voted on it. If they voted on it and it went through, okay, then the strike's over. If they haven't voted on it yet, then they still got to vote to ratify it and pass it and all that stuff. But it looks most likely, if they haven't voted yet, it looks most likely like they would vote because, once again, we had that quote in there saying it was an exceptional deal. Like, I think this is a deal that not even the writers expected to get out of this when they first started out with this whole strike business. I really, I mean, they were probably shooting for the stars because they know they weren't going to get there. But I think where they landed in the middle was probably even more than what they were initially expecting. So that's awesome on them. It looks like at least the leaders of the Writers Guild are very happy with this. And then, hopefully all the members are happy with this. And this is smooth sailing to go on, at least for a few years, right? Until, a new deal negotiation is up on the table. But that's great. Now the writers, once this is fully passed, writers can get back to work working on different productions. Well, I guess at least the pre-production side of stuff, rewriting scripts. I know Marvel needs to rewrite a lot of scripts out there, so that's going to be beneficial for them. But once again, we can't go into full production yet because we don't have the actors there. So we don't have the actors able to create these movies yet. So the actual production side of it, that's going to have to wait till after the SAG-AFTRA tentative deal, gets reached and then passed as well. Now they talking about having those negotiations on the table next week, right? Meeting with the other side to try to get to those negotiations. So that looks promising. I think the studios want to speed this along now because it's like the Writer Guild, right? We took care of them. Now we got to get past, the actor. So I think this one's going to go a lot faster than the writers one. And so I expect this to be, over. I don't know if it would be a week, if it'd be a couple weeks, but I feel like, before the end of October, I could see this deal happening. But I mean, the writers were able to get so much, right? And they're now able to get some credit stuff for the streaming shows, which they really needed. Those residual payments, which a lot of working actors live off those residuals. But you got to keep in mind, a lot of people don't know this. Like they see, oh wow, a writer can get paid over 11,000, a week. Why they're working? That is so much money. Well, yeah, but they may be only working what 4 weeks, 6 weeks, and then they have to make that last the whole year. The only way they're able to meet their, big rent in LA and all that stuff is through those residuals they live off of. So glad to see now with the streaming changing the industry, the writers can now participate in that. And there are certain stipulations in there, like it has to be a streaming movie over a certain budget. It has to do, be on a certain type of streaming service, things like that. So there's stipulations in there, but still great that the writers are actually going to get, to participate in that like they should. They're definitely a major part of the creation process to me. I mean, they're the foundation. Without the writers, without the story, you don't really have anything. So let's put some respects on them. And then the talking about AI. Now, the AI stuff, when I was looking at the breakdowns and other videos, that was the part that seemed a little bit more unclear. They kind of said, okay, well, you can't use AI to, rewrite a script without like permission and stuff. Like a studio can't force AI to write a script, or if they give you an AI first generated script, they have to let you know and have that full transparency, which all seemed really good points. So I'm glad they got that included. But it seemed like there was still like an issue in there where they said, okay, well, if it comes into conflict in some way, we still have the right to argue against it, which made it seem a little unclear. Like I said, this is all very complicated jargon information in these breakdowns. So if you have not really looked at these deals yet, I would say, hey, research the articles out there after this, or even look at some other videos of some great content creators out there that really, break it down. But it seems, once again, it's not going to be perfect, right? I mean, the sign of a good deal is that both sides are a little bit upset, right? Because they didn't each get everything they wanted, but it still looks like the writers are overall very pleased. So that's a good sign. And then, like I said, hopefully the SAG-AFTRA stuff goes, just as well going into next week. They're meeting with all the big executives and all of that. So, like I said, I don't think the SAG strike is going to last too much longer. I mean, Hollywood wants to get the jobs going again because you got all those production jobs that are out of business too. The people that work on sets, all of that stuff. If the actors can't work, they can't work. So, there's a lot of people's jobs at stake. So, hopefully, this gets solved. hopefully, the actors get what they deserve in this case, and yeah, hopefully it goes smooth. But I mean, Fran Drescher, in charge of SAG-AFTRA, right? I think the president of SAG-AFTRA. Correct me if I'm wrong there. Seems like she's really gonna fight for this stuff. So I have full confidence in her at the moment, just from what I've seen. So yep, hopefully it goes good. But you guys let me know, when do you think the SAG after strike's gonna end? Do you think it's gonna be a week, a month, or is it gonna go into the new year? Is this still gonna keep delaying movies out there? And then also, now that we're getting back on track, what movies are you most excited to see come out, or at least being in production now, so we can make some release dates here? I'm very excited now to see, Dune Part 2 get promoted, right? I'm going to be excited to see Deadpool 3 get back into production. I have such high hopes in that movie. But you guys let me know what you're excited for. Tons of projects out there. But let's get into this. Let's see. Hisham says, I mean, SAG after. So SAG after is it, right? We got WGA that's pretty much over if they vote to pass it, or maybe they already did and I missed that part. But the SAG is still going on. Let's see. Let's go to and then Hisham says, "Are you joining the SAG after strike?" I'm not a union member, so no, that is totally a union member kind of thing. So if you're part of the SAG after union, then those are the people that are striking. But I support what they're doing for sure. Every worker of every company, organization deserves to absolutely get paid fairly, what they deserve, all that stuff, and have these protections in place. But yeah, full support in what they're doing. But no, I'm not an actor, if you couldn't tell. I do not have the acting chops, but who knows? Maybe one day I will gain that skill. Nah, I doubt it, but at least I can still watch the movies and talk movies with this absolute amazing community out there. Let's see. Hisham says, how streaming caused the TV writer strike. So, because the industry changed, Hisham, with now there being a major focus on these streaming shows and streaming movies, but these companies that were doing these streaming platforms weren't being transparent with these writers and actors. They weren't giving them participation and how well the show was doing, right? How many views they were getting, view time, whatever they want to measure. They weren't allowing them to participate in that. Where before it was easy when stuff was on cable television, they had a system for seeing the metrics on that. But they didn't have that for streaming yet. So this was necessary because the industry had changed. Well, you got to change the contract. You got to change the deals. You got to update this information for now the industry you're in. So yeah, it totally was issues from streaming. I mean, streaming has caused so many issues. Now, don't get me wrong. Streaming is fine. It's a good, convenient option, but of course, it's going to adjust things. It's going to change things. We're going to have to adapt to things. And once again, it's hurt people in Hollywood. It's hurt, movie theaters. I mean, have you seen the box office lately? That's not doing so hot. And I think a lot of that's due to streaming. So streaming is just really changing the landscape of Hollywood forever. And Hollywood has to find out how to deal with this streaming monster before everything is just sunk. Because right now, like I said, you look at the box office for this past weekend, ooh, pitiful, very, very pitiful across the board. Let's see, we got Fish in here. Fish is so awesome, by the way. Good morning, Mike and chat. Well, good morning, Fish. Glad you're able to join us here today. All right. So, any other thoughts on the Writer Guild ending strike, the SAG after negotiations? Any last minute thoughts before we move on to some Halloween info? Nope. Okay. Well, let's move on to the Halloween info. Here we go. We got Halloween franchise talked about being sold here. So nothing is official here. It's not absolutely sold, but it's being shopped around. I want to make that clear off the bat. So let's look at this information. Let's look at this overlay here. I'm a massive Halloween fan, if you didn't know. Let's look. Bloody Disgusting can exclusively report this week that Maladakad's Trancas International Films is actively shopping the rights to the Halloween franchise around Hollywood. For clarity, while Miramax co-owns the film rights, Trancas is the sole owner of all television rights. From what we understand, there's a massive bidding war going on right now for the television rights, with several different parties interested in vying for the chance to bring Michael Myers back to life. We are hearing exclusively that A24 and Miramax are the two main parties currently in battle for TV rights, and that A24 is currently leading the charge. As you might recall, A24 recently won the rights to produce a Friday the 13th television series, and it's being made for Universal owned Peacock, as it's titled, Crystal Lake. So I got to hear you guys' thoughts on this. My horror fans out there, my Halloween franchise fans, got to hear your thoughts on this because I don't know if I'm going to give some hot takes here, but I might. I like to be a little spicy, all right? So I'm not excited about this news at all. Once again, I love the Halloween franchise. It's my favorite horror franchise of all time. The original Halloween movie is my fourth favorite film of all time. And then Halloween H2O is my fifth favorite film. I love this franchise, but I'm not really interested in seeing it in television mode. Really don't care about TV as much. Now, don't get me wrong, there's a couple shows out there I'll watch here and there. But I don't want to see Halloween in that format. That's why I'm not really excited for the Friday the 13th show. Why? Because it seems like they always water down these shows when it goes to that TV format, right? They water down the movie, they transfer it to TV, and then you get something that's just it doesn't feel the same, right? Like Crystal Lake, they're already saying, okay, maybe Jason's not a large part of it. Maybe it's more about his mom, and they stretch it out, right? They stretch it out, and I don't know. I want to see Halloween films. I'm all for Halloween films. Now, do we need Halloween films right away? We just got Halloween Ends. No, maybe take a 3, 5 year gap. That's fine. Do a full reboot, whatever. I'm fine with that. I mean, you really can't build off Halloween Ends at this point anyway. At least that's my thoughts. You guys let me know. It's not like they can even go with the Corey storyline because spoiler alert, if you haven't seen Halloween Ends, once again, spoiler alert. But they off Corey, right? So that whole plot line made no sense. So they can't even go that direction with it. And obviously Michael Myers is gone now, so they can't go that way with it. Well, what would you do? Would they do anthology style? No, please don't do anthology style. I know people love Halloween 3. I actually love Halloween 3, but it did not work from a franchise business perspective. When Halloween 3 came out, people did not like it. They associated Halloween with Michael Myers. So now at this point, if you use the Halloween name, you got to have Michael Myers. And I don't know if that's what this TV show would do. Like we got A24 in these talks here. And A24 is more, how do you say, they're more like philosophical, more existential, right? They go really artsy house with a lot of their stuff, which I like a lot of A24 stuff. Some stuff I do not like, right? They're kind of a mixed bag for me at least. But I don't want to see that done with Halloween. I don't want Halloween overcomplicated. Halloween, you got the boogeyman. It's Michael Myers. It's a slasher. That's what we got. Now, I think they can dive into more of the boogeyman stuff. Like, I get that. But I don't want, once again, A24 sometimes just goes a little too far. And then we get a movie like Men, which does not make any sense by the end and just hurts your brain. I don't want that to become Halloween. So, really not interested in A24 getting it. Miramax getting it is fine once again, but not super pumped up about a TV show. Like I said, I would love to see more Halloween films in the future, maybe 3 to 5 years, but just a full on reboot. And I would do, more Michael Myers stories, but maybe not go with Laurie Strode this time along. I mean, we've gotten tons of great Laurie Strode stuff already. I think it's maybe time to move past that. But if you use Halloween name, you got to use Michael Myers. Because then what's the point? If you're just using the Halloween title and you're doing anthology stuff, why? Now we're just like a trick or treat type of thing, which you could just put anthology films under trick or treat or whatever it is, right? Tales from the Crypt or whatever anthology stuff you want to do. When you think Halloween now, you think Michael Myers, they need to be together. Now, if we took it back decades and decades ago, the only way the Halloween title would have worked as a franchise is if you did the original Halloween and then straight into a different thing that then it dealt with Michael Myers in the sequel. You can't even include Halloween 2 there. I know a lot of people say, hey, no, we want Halloween 1, 2, and then do 3 like it was, and then do all anthology. No, once you hit a sequel and you include Michael Myers, then Halloween is associated with Michael Myers. That's just how I'm thinking right now. Maybe I change my thoughts on this later, but that was the only way you could have done Halloween as a successful anthology series, uh, at least in my opinion. Who knows if I'm wrong there? But now it's been so long. Halloween is associated with Michael Myers, and I just don't know what this TV series would look like. And they've tried a horror TV series before, like they've done that Chucky one. I've never seen any of the Chucky stuff. I heard season 1 was decent, but then it kind of lost its way in season 2. And so I don't think people are very excited for season 3. Like, I don't want that to happen to Halloween. I don't want there to be so much Halloween where we just get sick of it, like the MCU. Same thing happened with MCU, oversaturation, too much over servicing the community there. It was just too much too fast. I don't want that to happen with our beloved slasher franchises out there. What I really think is, once again, I would, cross out these TV shows, get rid of them, and instead of doing the Friday the 13th TV show, what I would have done is another film, because we haven't gotten a film since 2009, I believe, from Friday the 13th. So that's a big enough gap where you could have really done something there. But those are my thoughts. I got to hear from you guys out there. Let's dive into the community. This is what it's all about. You guys know I'm all about the community here. Fish is saying, "Oh, thanks, Mike. You're awesome as well. You are so awesome, Fish. I'm only awesome because of your awesomeness." All right, we got Adrian saying hi to Fish. Little fishies, yes. Let's see what Shining Watch saying. Honestly, do we really need a Halloween TV series? I was thinking the same thing. We don't need a Halloween TV series. Fish is applauding that. We don't need it. We don't need a Halloween film series. Fish is saying when horror went to TV back in the 80s, there were more anthologies. Friday the 13th, Friday, Poltergeist. Okay. See, I didn't even know there was a Poltergeist um, series. I didn't even know that. I heard about the Freddy one, never seen it. And there was already a Friday the 13th one. Okay, so they've already done this stuff. And I'm guessing it wasn't that successful because I've never heard of that. It doesn't have that staying power. I want great movies to be made that have that staying power. And the great movies out there. It's the movies that, people still talk about today. Are people still talking about a lot of streaming originals? No, most people forget them after a week, after a year. I mean, they don't really have that staying power. I want really good stuff that we can just talk about for decades. Hisham says, speaking about Michael Myers, why Michael Myers never speak when he was a little kid? Well, because he was never really a kid, right? I mean, he was a kid in human form, but that's the idea of the boogeyman, right? He is the boogeyman. He is evil incarnate, right? He is that's what I like about the Halloween franchise. So I never used to be a horror fan. When I was a kid, horror movies totally scared me, wasn't into them. But then what really got me was Halloween H2O and that the Laurie Strode story with the boogeyman, right? Relating it to Frankenstein, fighting, those evils out there, over accomplishing, right? Getting past those obstacles of your demons and things like that. I love that philosophy stuff. So I love that idea of the boogeyman. So that's where I think the Halloween movies need to go. But yeah, so that's the point. He's not a human. He's really the boogeyman. That's at least how I've always thought about it. But that's what got me into horror movies, is seeing Halloween H2O and just loving it, and that showdown at the end, and Michael, and oh gosh, loved it. Just loved that one. But yeah, so that's how I picture it, and that's why I relate kind of horror movies, like at least slasher stuff, to superhero movies, because it's the same thing. You got this large obstacle, you got this villain, right? Which is like the Michael Myers, the Freddy, the Jason, whatever it is, and the hero has to, do something, learn something about themselves to overcome those obstacles. So to me, horror slashers and superhero movies very similar actually, and that's why I love them both. Except, horror is just more bloody. All right. Let's see. Um, Hisham is saying, speaking of serial killers, is Freddy vs. Jason are the best crossover horror movie? I believe so. I love Freddy vs. Jason. That movie is amazing. I was so sad we didn't get a sequel to it, but it did a great job for both showing off Freddy and Jason. So I love that movie. That's one of my favorites. Alex says, I don't want another Friday the 13th because I don't want to have it loose next to my Shout Scream Factory box set, right? Yeah, and then they'll make a new box set. I got you. I get it. I get it. It'd be nice to have everything on box set, but hey, if it's a good movie, I'll take it. So, what's Shawnee watching? I agree, Mike. If Carpenter intended Halloween to be an anthology series, he would have named the original film something else and added the subtitle "Tales from Halloween" or something like that. Yep. Let's see. We got Tyler in the house. Hey, Tyler, how you doing? Tyler, how have you been doing at college? How's that been going? Let me know. But yeah, my day's been good, Tyler. I hope your day is going well. Dimension Scott says, "What's your favorite Halloween timeline?" Um, See, I never thought of it in timelines, and I've seen videos, people breaking down all the different timelines. But I don't know. I don't know if there's a Halloween timeline out there I really love, because there's different ones from each timeline I really like. Like, I love the original Halloween and I love H2O, but I don't like Halloween 2. And I know that's like blasphemy to say. Everybody loves Halloween 2. I just don't like the environment, like the hospital stuff. To me, the hospital was just boring. I never found hospital scary. It's like there's nobody at the hospital. Like it just looks like a boring time to me. So I never loved Halloween 2. I know people love that one, but I love the original Halloween. I love H2O. But I love, I love the new reboot legacy sequel, that new Halloween 2018 one. I love that one. I thought that one was great. I now love Halloween 3. I really like Halloween 4. Halloween 5, I think, is underappreciated. Halloween Curse of Michael Myers. Oh gosh, that's terrible. Rob Zombie Halloweens. Ugh, can't do it. So I'm all over the place with the Halloween franchise. I mean, what's your favorite Halloween films out there, guys? You guys gotta let me know that. Let's see. Hazardous Pokemon, one of the coolest names ever. Pokemon's great. I love Pokemon. Do you think that horror movies will eventually realize this? Um, realize what? To not do TV shows, or give me a little bit more context there, Hazardous. Let's see. What do you think about Five Nights at Freddy's? Do you think it will tank? I think it will do decent. Like horror movies, usually, unless you really mess up in terms of marketing or something of that nature, horror movies usually make a profit because they can make them cheap enough. Now, I don't know the budget on FNAF, but if they made it cheap enough, I think it can at least make money. I don't think it's going to be a stellar hit, but I think it can make a profit at least. Now, I'll check it out for sure. I've never played any of the FNAF games. I know some people really love them out there. I'm excited to see Matthew Lillard in there. That's really cool. But the trailers just kind of look so to me. It gives me like Willy's Wonderland vibes. It just looks so to me. It didn't look terrible. It didn't look like amazing. But what do you think? Are you excited for FNAF? And once again, Hazardous Pokemon, thank you for being here. I think it's my first time seeing you in the chat. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, and yeah, just thank you for being part of this community. All right, let's go to Alex saying, I hope it's not all shaky cam line, kind of like how you play the game, always panning around to quickly open and close door, and whatnot. Hope it's good. I don't think it's going to be shaky cam. At least the trailers did not look shaky cam at all. So that's a good sign. I'm not a massive fan of shaky cam stuff either. Now, sometimes shaky cam can work, but I think it's been overused. I think the only time shaky cam has worked for me is like Cloverfield. I thought the shaky cam was fine in there, but usually 9 times out of 10, I don't really care for shaky cam. Fish says, yeah, those anthology series didn't last more than a couple seasons. Friday the 13th, 3 seasons. Freddy's Nightmare, 2 seasons. Poltergeist Legacy, 4 seasons. Some available on streaming. All right, what's Johnny watching? You've done it now. Mike Kenny Levels hears you badmouth Halloween 2. He'll come after you. I know everyone loves Halloween 2. Everybody loves it, and I think it's fine. Like, don't get me wrong. It's not like I like hate Halloween 2. Like, it's not like Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Okay, now that one I can say, ooh, don't like that one at all. It's just like okay to me. Like, it's not one I love. It's not one that I despise. So it's kind of in the middle area for me. It's just kind of in the middle area, but it's not the one I'm pulling off the shelf, right? All the time. I'm pulling it off the original I watch all the time. I watch H2O all the time. I watch 2018 all the time. I'll even watch Halloween 3 a whole bunch more times than Halloween 2. And then I'll go like Halloween 4, right? So it's just like Halloween 2 is in the mid area. So I just don't pull it off to watch as much. Let's see. I just said yes to not do the shows. But they want to do the shows now. Now they want to do the streaming stuff, like because the movies aren't doing well. But once again, why aren't the movies doing well? Because of all the stuff they're doing with streaming. So it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy, and I don't think the studios will get that. Um, I don't know. It's so weird in Hollywood right now. The streaming stuff really has thrown a wrench into the whole Hollywood, movie production stuff. So, but I think they should focus on just really good movies. I mean, you know me, I'm the movie man though. I love movies. Tyler says it's been fine. Switch subject from IT to art. I'm having more fun and less stress to me. And just watched the creator yesterday. It was okay, in my opinion. That's kind of how I felt too about it. I did my out of theater reaction for the creator. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it, but I liked the premise. I thought the premise was really intriguing. So I kind of wanted to see more what the franchise would do. But by the end of it, by the ending, I was kind of like, I think we had something here, but it wasn't fully realized. So very mixed bag for me. I liked it overall though. I gave it a thumbs up, just barely though. I gave it a thumbs up, and I wonder what they would do more with the creator if they continued. But it made no money, so we will not get a creator too. But glad you're doing well in college. I'm glad you changed a subject you really like. And that's really the main point. I mean, you want to do something you enjoy. What can you do? Wake up every day that you're going to enjoy, whether the money's there or the money isn't there. what are you going to enjoy doing? Health, right? That's the most important part. You don't want to be overly stressed. I mean, sometimes you need to be stressed to get certain things done. So yeah, there will be a little stress. Of course, life always gonna have stressful moments. But yeah, you definitely want to do something you enjoy though. Fish the Film Collector says 1, 2 Kenny levels coming for you. I like it. I like it. What's Johnny watching? Original Halloween 2 just doesn't feel right to me. Are you saying like how I would say, or is that the same for you? What's Johnny watching? It just doesn't feel right, right? How's this Pokemon? Do you particularly enjoy the Hunger Games movies? Do you think they will enjoy the new one? So I will definitely see it. Now I like the first one now, and I haven't read the books, but I like the first Hunger Games because I mean it's like a Mortal Kombat kind of thing, right? You got a tournament with children fighting to the death, right? So that's an interesting premise for a movie. I was on board with the second one about halfway through, but then when we get into that second part of the second one and they kind of, leave the tournament stuff, and then I hear the third one got really like, like political war type of stuff, and the fourth movie was the same thing. That lost my interest. Like I like tournament movies. Like that's why I love Mortal Kombat. I love tournament movies. I think they should have stuck with that tournament thing throughout all of the whole series, and that would have been more intriguing to me. Getting into the political war stuff, I'm like, I've seen that in a lot of movies. I want to see tournament stuff. I think that was the sweet spot. So I don't know. Is the new one going to be like really focused on a tournament? If it is, I think I'll like it. But we'll see. I mean, the trailers just have looked decent to me so far. Not amazing, not bad, just decent so far. But you excited for a Hazardous Pokemon? But it is coming up soon, right? Um, what's Johnny watching? For me, it just didn't give me the same feel I had after watching the first one. Yeah, that's me too. I absolutely know what you mean. Dimension Scott says, my thing is, I enjoy Halloween 2. I can do with or without the brother and sister thing. I'm one of those people that's glad they dropped that in the Blumhouse. See, but how they made the Blumhouse movies, I don't like how they did that because it made less sense for me why Michael Myers was always then going after Laurie Strode. Now, it makes sense if he's always going after Laurie Strode because, if that's his sister, there's that connection thing there. So, how Blumhouse set it up, I didn't like how they removed that. Even though initially you're removing that, I'm almost like, okay, that could be a good idea. But how Blumhouse made it where like he was always after here, and then how Laurie Strode was so obsessed with Michael Myers, I feel like if there isn't the brother sister connection there, that few points makes a little bit less sense to me. At least how I'm initially thinking of it. But maybe I'll change my opinion on that later. But I don't know. The Blumhouse stuff was a hot mess. They were back and forth on so many ideas, and then by the end of Halloween Ends, we got some jumbled mess. So I don't even think they knew what they were doing with their plan. Let's see. Hazardous Pokemon says yes. I believe that they're realizing this in the next one. The new one is about a tournament put in the past when the president, President Snow, was in the game. See, that gets me excited then. Tyler says the creator had some scenes that made me think of Rogue One from the shots of it. Yeah, it looks beautiful. The movie looks gorgeous. I love all the sci-fi landscapes and world building they did. It sounded great. The music was really solid. Like it's like a movie I wanted to love because it had a lot of the right ingredients. But I don't know. There was something with it. I wasn't emotionally connecting to it like I wanted to. All right, Hisham has a perfect segue to our next story. What DC superhero movies you really want? So let's get into the next one here. So we got to talk Gunn's DC universe, talking about hot messes out there that haven't even started yet, I guess. This so all over the place. Let's look at this overlay here. All right, while Superman Legacy is set to be the new DCU's first movie in 2025, the DCU will begin even sooner than that in 2024 with the upcoming Creatures Commanders show, confirmed by Gunn to be the first DCU movie on Max. The animated series will exist in the same continuity as the DC's upcoming live action projects, something that wasn't the case in the DCEU and only featured minimally in the MCU. Gunn has also shared his hopes that even new DC video games will exist in the same shared continuity as well. Having very little connection to the rest of the DCU, Blue Beetle could be easily brought over to the new DCU given the character's popularity and the new movie's positive reception. Jaime's inclusion is also perfect as the new DCU is meant to already have established heroes. Likewise, it's possible Jason Momoa's Aquaman may continue on into the new DCU. Given the similarly isolated nature of the Aquaman movies, the same can be said for a handful of characters connected to DCU's Suicide Squad who are continuing into the new DCU. such as Viola Davis's Waller, John Cena's Peacemaker, and even Sean Gunn's Weasel. So I'm about to maybe we'll get into a little rant here. I don't know. I might be still feeling a little spicy, but I am not excited for Gunn's new DC universe. I'm not excited for it. Why? Because it's a sloppy hot mess, just like all these other things before. How Star Wars went off the rails, how Halloween went off the rails. I feel like there is not a solid plan here, and they keep changing every couple weeks. Like before, James Gunn was saying, "Oh, Blue Beetle is for sure a part of the new DCU." But now he's saying, "Hey, I can keep the character Blue Beetle, but not the story that happened in Blue Beetle." What? What are you doing, Gunn? What are you talking about? How are you keeping a character but not the story? It doesn't make any sense. More confusion for the audience. You did the same thing with the Flash. Oh yeah, the Flash is gonna reset things and be, and kind of included with this DC startup, blah blah blah. No, it wasn't. Why? Because it did horrible at the box office. So anytime something doesn't go right at the box office, James Gunn is just saying, "Oh, it's gone." But now he's saying, "But we can keep a character, so maybe we will keep Gal Gadot, or maybe we'll keep Jason Momoa." Oh, but not Henry Cavill. I wasn't friends with him, right? Like it's just all over the place, super hot mess. It's like how this franchise, this new thing is looking. It's like James Gunn seems he's going to keep all his buddies around, right? He's going to keep his buddies. He's going to keep John Cena in there. He's going to keep Viola Davis. He's going to keep, his brother as the Weasel in there, right? I mean, so he's going to keep all his buddies. But anybody that not his buddy is out. But he's isolating stories from characters, and it's so weird, right? Does anybody find this DC stuff already weird? And it doesn't get me excited for DC Superman Legacy because it's already on shaky ground. Not only that, it seems like they're making DC Superman Legacy movie, another team up movie. We have all these other characters in there. He's putting his buddy Nathan Fillion in as one of the Green Lanterns in there. And it's like, "Oh, so we're doing a team up movie again?" Like, I know you're great at team up movies, James Gunn. I know you're great at that, right? With all the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, and you did the Suicide Squad, and you did a great job on those. I get it. And I'm fine with getting more team up movies, but come on, starting with a Superman movie, I would love just a solo Superman movie. Really lean into Superman. I don't want Superman to get lost in his own movie here. And I don't know. It feels like James Gunn, he knows how to do something really well, and he's going to keep doing it and doing it over and over again, which, I mean, we might get some good movies out of it. I'm not saying we won't, but I feel like it's going to lose steam quickly, right? I feel like we're going to get the same issues we had with the MCU. Everything's starting to feel the same with this. I don't want everything to feel the same. I want things to be different. I mean, you can have some connective tissue, right? Because we want to do a build up movie, but I still want some uniqueness there. But right now, it just seems, James Gunn is just keeping his friends around. And when something fails, he's saying it's not included. So if Creature Commandos doesn't do good on streaming, I bet, they'll take down this prediction. I think this might happen. They'll say, "Oh, never mind, Creature Commandos isn't a part of it, or the story's not a part of it. Hey, but we kept Weasel for this other movie, right? So I can keep characters, but not the story." It doesn't make any sense. James Gunn's frustrating me about this new DC error. And we don't even have Superman lit yet. We don't even have that movie yet. Ugh. And I'm still frustrated. Sorry, I went on a little rant there. You guys let me know what you think of that. What do you think of James Gunn and this new DC stuff? I know Fish was saying Halloween 4 is my favorite, so I like the brother sister storyline. Yeah, Halloween 4 is definitely the most closely to the original Halloween. I will give it that. What's Shawnee watching? I loved Kills because we got Michael's Carnage. Aside from that, hot mess. I like Kills too. I think Kills is better than people give it credit for. Besides, before we get to the end with the mob stuff did not work for me. Tyler says the show, those look good. Ain't gonna lie, but seriously, I don't even know those characters. Fish is saying, "I'm so over the DCU. Movies are hit and miss. They're all over the place." I know we're over the new DC stuff, and the new DC stuff isn't even here. That's the sad thing about it, Fish. That is the sad thing. What's Shani watching? James Gunn is going to destroy the DCU. He already has before it even started. He already has, right? Oh gosh, Huck is saying Huck's Pop Culture Cafe. Once again, big shout out to Huck, amazing channel. And we were just a part of a Tim Burton live stream we just did about a week or so ago. That was super fun. If you guys have not seen that, definitely watch the replay on that. We ran through all of Tim Burton's filmography together. But Huck says, "Hey Johnny, hard to destroy it more than it already is." I know, right? It's just in ashes at this point. Hisham says, "What do you expect, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom?" Well, I think it looks like a fun movie. The trailers make it seem like a fun superhero movie, so that's what I want out of it. I love the first Aquaman. I think Aquaman 2 is going to be really good, but I don't think anybody's going to see it. I don't think enough people are going to care about it, and so that's the thing, right? How do we get people out to the theater to go see it? Because the first Aquaman is like the best performing DC movie, over $1 billion, right? It did great. But is the second one gonna have that? I don't think so. I think people are the superhero fatigue is real, and I don't think James Gunn is doing anything to change course of that right now. All right, let's see. Hisham saying Namor Aquaman. Aquaman, but Namor is awesome too. Let's see. Tyler saying James needs to recast everyone. I agree. Hard reboot. I would pause the franchise for 3 to 5 years and then massive hard reboot. You cannot keep any of the same actors. I don't care if they're your buddies. I don't care if you like them. You can't do it. It won't work. It won't work. It's just uh too much baggage, in my opinion. Huck saying, fish. Oh yeah, Huck saying hello to everybody. Tyler saying the only thing I care about is what Superman's suit looks like and who is our new Batman. And that's the problem. We have so many Batman stuff. We got the Batman 2 with Matt Reeves coming out, and then we're gonna have Batman Brave and the Bold. I mean, once again, so sloppy. What I would have done, I would have said we're building everything off of the Batman. Building everything, we're starting there. That's the new DC starting point. And I would have done that. I would have been like, sorry, Matt Reeves. I know you don't like it, but okay, whatever. This is DC Warner Brothers property here. If you don't want to do this next sequel, then too bad, so sad. But I would have built from the Batman. I would have. But giving into Matt Reeves, they are not doing that. And now we get more sloppiness. Brandon says, I saw Paw Patrol 2 last Friday. It was cute and charming. And I heard it's going to beat Saw X, the creator, and Dumb Money with 22 million. And they already announced the sequel for 2026. Yeah, Paw Patrol did great at the box office. So, I mean, it did something right. It appealed to its audience for sure. Craig said Superman and Batman should be number one priority for DC. Agreed. And Wonder Woman, the Trinity. You always go back to the Trinity for DC, build from that. And they could have really done something special with that. But I don't know. They're doing Creature Commandos now. And they're going to do Swamp Thing again. And they're going to do all this other random stuff, right? Brandon says, yes, worst scene in theaters. Animation is stunning. Huck says, yeah, good idea, Mike. Just start with Matt's Batman and build from here. Yes, of course, because that was actually a box office success. Now, it didn't make over $1 billion, so, it still had a long way to go. But what? It was over like 600 mil. I think that's a decent enough starting point. They should have built from that. They should have. Like, I mean, they got a hit with the Batman. They got a hit with it, and now they have squandered that. They have squandered it. Oh gosh, yeah, yeah. It's a hot mess. It's a hot mess. Fish says I'd be okay with a reboot starting with the Battinson. Sadly, not going to happen. Yep, not going to happen. Um, oh gosh, yeah. It's like they have it. They have it there. They have it there. Just do it. Just do it. And no, they're not going to do it. Oh, yeah. It's sad because I see these things, we love out there, right? We love superhero movies, we love horror movies, and then to see this news come out is just sad. But we did get good news on the Writers Guild, right? We got good news on that. SAG-AFTRA negotiations. So there's still some happy stuff going on. So that is still good news. But yeah, for DC stuff and Halloween stuff, not as happy. Tyler says the power of the DC universe is about to change, more like changing. It's so bad. It's gonna change, maybe. I don't know. It'll change whenever Gunn feels like saying it has officially changed. And then he's saying video games are gonna be included too, which was kind of random. Like, what? Why does everything have to be connected anyway? Do we really need the video games to be connected? Can we just have like just the movies? Like I'm over the connected stuff anyway. Like at this point, just do some nice, good solo movies for a while. Then if you want to come together and connect it with a Justice League, fine. But I would say start with some good solo movies. We got to build the foundation first before everything collapses without a solid foundation. All right. All right, so that's our DC news. I think that was our last DC comment there. So we are going to get into the Ask Anything section. So remember, ask anything. And I know some of you guys have already been doing some ask anything questions. Keep them coming. If you want me to do a review on the fly, you want me to do a ranking on the fly, you guys let me know. I saw some awesome movies this weekend. I saw 3 movies this weekend. So if you want me to talk about any one of them right now, I can. I saw The Creator. I saw X. I saw Dumb Money. You want me to review, rank any of them? You let me know. But anything, any fun questions out there, any movie news stories I didn't cover, because there's a lot of news out there. I didn't cover everything. So if you want to shout something out, definitely let me know. So I'll give you guys a couple moments to do that. I'll let you guys know what's coming up on the channel. So on the channel, you guys know we'll have a video every day. Tons of great stuff out there. And yeah, it's going to be great. You guys know I'm keeping you up to date on the deals out there. And I'm trying to think if I should go do Amazon deals this week, or I know the Kino Lorber sales going on. Should I do Kino Lorber deals as well and like recommend out Kino Lorber titles? Because I have a stack of like Kino Lorber titles I could recommend in the sale going on right now. Would you guys like to see that? A Kino Lorber, just like my top 10 recommendation from them with the sale going on? I could do that. What do you guys prefer? That's what I want to know from you guys. What do you guys like about the channel? What's working? What could be, added in? What could be adjusted? Whatever, just let me know your thoughts out there. I always like hearing from the community. Also, I didn't even ask. I should have asked this at the beginning. Is the mic looking good? Is it the mic sounding good, right? Is the mic sounding good? Is the video quality looking good? I'm not freezing, am I? Right? Am I moving okay? You guys got to let me know that too. But like I said, we're really trying to make the push here for 1,500 subs. I would love to get that by my 2-year anniversary. So once again, if you join in a little bit later here, easy way to help the channel. First, click that like. It takes a half a second. Just if you're on your phone, click that like very easily. If you're on a TV, scroll up with the mouse. Click that like. Very, very easy to do. Comments help a lot. Even if you're watching this on the replay out there, you leave a comment. Of course, I'm going to get back to you right away. But those comments help to fuel the channel. Really appreciate it. And then also, if you guys can help me out with this, because I know my live stream watchers are amazing out there. You guys are just doing such a wonderful job with supporting the channel and the community. The videos that do come out during the week, if you could, try to make a conscious effort to watch those as well. Even if you just play them in the background while you're doing something else, that perfectly works fine. But the view time really helps fuel the channel, and I greatly appreciate it. And if you do that, it kind of help creates this snowball effect, and then the YouTube algorithm picks it up. And once you watch it, then it starts recommending it out. Oh, to 10 more people, 20 more people, 30 more people, and then we get more eyes on the channel. That's how we get more people to the channel and more people just to join in this community. And that's what it's all about for me. I mean, we just want to keep this a friendly film fan place to talk the things we love, like movies, movie news, collecting, physical media, all that great stuff. So I really want to spread the word on this channel. So once again, if you love watching movies, collecting physical media, you're in the right spot. Like I said, you're visiting the first time, make sure you click that subscribe, hit that notification bell. We're doing live streams constantly. We got an awesome live stream planned for you all on Tuesday night, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're doing our favorite horror performances. So if you love horror movies, it's going to be a perfect stream for you. We've got some amazing panel members too. Really excited about this. And even if you're not really into the horror genre, if you can still watch it in the background at the very least, you might get some movie recommendations that maybe, says, hey, maybe test out the horror genre a little bit. Maybe this is a starter title you can watch to see if you do like the genre, or maybe you see, hey, maybe I don't like horror at the end of it. Totally fine. But any help on watching that live stream is going to be great. But I'm trying to get that crossover where the people that are loving the live streams watch the videos as well, and vice versa too. People watching the videos, watching the live streams. If we can get that crossover going, which I've been looking at the numbers, if we can get that going, that's really going to exponential growth the channel. And so greatly appreciate you all. You guys make this community. The fans are everything. So I appreciate you all. And yeah, just keep doing what you're doing. And I just love the support. And we're gonna have an amazing. I know we're gonna reach that 1,500 mark by October 31st, by the 2-year YouTube anniversary for me, and we're gonna have a big celebration. And I'm excited for that. Yes, very, very excited. But let's see what your guys' comments are here. Let's see. We got. Let's go to right here. Hisham says, "Why you really hate Barbie?" Um, did I say I hate it? I just didn't like it. It just wasn't the movie for me. I just don't think I was the target audience. It just didn't interest me. It was a little boring to me. I wasn't connecting to the humor. And if you're gonna do a comedy movie, you gotta connect to the humor to really like it. I just wasn't laughing as much as I wanted to be. So it just wasn't for me. It just wasn't. I wish it was. I gave it a chance and it just wasn't for me. But I absolutely love how a lot of people loved it out there. Anytime a movie is loved, I like it just for that reason. Not meaning I like the movie itself. Like I'm not gonna probably watch it again, but I love that people love it and people support it. And it did good for the Hollywood industry. So anytime that happens, that's a big celebration. All right, Huck says, yeah, good solo movies is key. Let each main character have a moment to shine before sharing the spotlight. Yes, good key solo movies. Like when they came out with Iron Man. I don't know if they were already, planning all the future or whatever, but Iron Man was just a good, solid superhero movie. So, yeah. Tyler saying my teacher assistant at my secondary school was laughing so much about the video games connected to the main DC. I know, right? How do you even do that? Like that's going to create so much more holes in the storyline. That's going to get sloppiness. I mean, they're already struggling. Why add another very challenging task there? I don't get it. Tyler says, "Did you hear about Marvel looking for writers to write new X-Men?" I did. Glad you brought that up. Um, yeah, so that's cool. I mean, it's been a while. We've been waiting for X-Men for the longest time, but I do want them to get it right. And I wonder what they're going to do. Is it going to be a full-on reboot? I mean, you would have to at this point, right? But I would be down for that. X-Men is a great group of characters. I love the social commentary that goes with the X-Men storylines. And I love the first two X-Men movies, the original ones. Those movies are great. Still some of the best superhero movies of all time. So once again, if they just focus on making a good movie, don't worry about it being so much connected to other stuff. I think they can really have something. But yeah, focus on the writers. Get good writers. That is going to be crucial. Dimension Scott, do you prefer separate editions of movies or in one collection set? I love collection sets. They take up less space on the shelf. And then I have all the movies there. And I'm all for that. If I can save shelf space, and usually they're on a better deal, right? Like you save money when they're bundled together, I will take that as well. And my main thing is having the disc. Like I like having artwork and things of that nature, but my most important thing is owning the movie on a disc. If I can do that with a collection box set, I'm all for that. Let's see. Huck is saying, "Are you going to the Son of Monster Palooza or LA Comic Con?" Probably not. No, no major plans right now. Um, yeah, I mean, I need to get out to Southern California sometime, but LA, such a busy city. It's so busy. But if I do go to LA, I want to go like Universal Horror Nights type of thing. I want to go check out, Nintendo Land, right? Do stuff like that. So, I love the theaters out there. I will give them that. They got the theaters for sure. But yeah, no plans for LA Comic Con. But I hope it's great. Yeah, I hope it's great. Fish is saying, "Are you looking forward to Killers of the Flower Moon?" Yeah, I'm always a fan of the Martin Scorsese films that I've seen, right? Like Wolf of Wall Street, I love. So Leonardo DiCaprio is my favorite actor of all time, I think. So yeah, it definitely has all the ingredients to be good. I don't like how it's so long. I think that is a major issue. I don't like how it's so long. That will be a tough watch for me, especially at my theater. The seats are really crummy. So I'm like, do I drive to a nicer theater for a better experience? I might have to do that on Colors of the Flower Moon. So uh, I'm glad Craig is bringing this one up. So my rant video on Target is gonna drop on Tuesday morning, 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time as usual. So if everybody can, and you will know the video when it pops up, it will be very clearly Target. If you guys can all watch that one all the way through, I think that's a really fun video. I think you're gonna be super entertained by the rant I get into. Um, but yeah, I go over a lot of good information in there. So yeah, that's gonna be an awesome video. So I will save my thoughts for then, Craig. But yeah, I think that's a video that can do really well on the channel. If you guys all watch, so I'm very excited for that one. Tyler says, "Do you think the perfect route do a soft reboot after not a soft hard reboot? No more soft reboots. If we're doing a reboot, we're doing a reboot. Only hard reboots. I would hard reboot after Secret Wars." We got Dell on the channel, who is awesome as well. How you doing out there, Dell? Dell saying, "Over the last few movies, everything Scorsese has been too long. All movies are getting too long now, and I don't know why. why have such long movies? To me, the perfect runtime, I call it the Hughes runtime. Remember the John Hughes movies? They were like an hour and a half, hour 45. That was the best runtime. I love a short runtime like that. I would not go over 2 hours, but now everything's 2 hours and a half, 2 hours 45, over 3 hours now. Oh my gosh, we do not need movies over 3 hours. We don't need it. And they don't even give you an intermission in the theater. That part irritates me too. Like, if you're going to do an over a 3 hour movie, give me an intermission at least. Goodness. Um, yeah, I'm not a fan of long movies. So that's the only part that concerns me about Colors of the Flower Moon. Yeah. I mean, what happened to the skill of editing, right? Like, come on, like chop this down, like, right? Have tighter editing on these movies. But, now it's just like, oh, I don't know. I don't know what they're doing out there. All right. Well, I think that's all the comments we ran through. Oh, we got one more in here. Can't forget Venancio, the horror cholo. What's up? What's up, Venancio? I hate long movies too. I know, right? Especially as like a horror fan. Like, horror movies are usually shorter, which is why they're a little bit more easily digestible. But Venancio, we are doing a Saw franchise ranking stream coming up in a couple weeks, and I'm very excited for that. That's going to be another fun stream. I got a ton of awesome streams planned for you all in October in spooky season. This is going to be a jam-packed month of fun for movies. So very excited for that. But thank you all for being here. If you came in a little late, just a couple reminders, hit that like on the way out. Also, if you came in late, and you can watch the replay of the show when it's over. That really helps out a lot too. Once again, feeding that YouTube algorithm makes all the difference. And then, of course, feel free to leave comments on the replay too, and we'll definitely get back to those. But thank you all once again for being here, just having a fun time with this community, talking the things we love, movies, collecting, all this fun movie news. But you guys are awesome. So stay awesome out there, and remember to make every day a movie day. So go watch a movie, all right? Have a good one, everyone.